Hello friends, and welcome to Gardenia with Creekside. Today I am going to share with you how I am going to ensure that the patio garden has a beautiful transition from summer into fall. It is basically, we can call it mid-August here in North Carolina, a zone 8A. And I have got some beautiful successes, and I have got some messes, just some plants that are tired. They've gone through a great growing season and they're tired, so they're ready to be removed. I've got some great plants that are thriving and just need to be pruned a little bit. So we got a little bit of everything. I'm gonna do some fertilizing, just some great general maintenance for late summer garden transitioning into fall. So if this applies to you, I hope you stay tuned because I am sure that I have got some nuggets of information that you can apply to your garden, whether you're in North Carolina, Florida, Texas, California, or New Hampshire, everywhere in between, because all of this information applies to everybody. It just may apply differently on the calendar. So let's talk about and look at what we are going to do today. We are out here on our back patio, and you can see probably right away we have got, like I said, beautiful messes and successes. And it's not that they're messes, it's just that tis the season, y'all. It is tis the season for them to come out. Primarily, bless their hearts. That's all we're going to say. Bless their hearts. This is the Supertunia Mini Vista White, one of my all-time must-have annuals every year. It is August, y'all. We have just gone through in July. We had literal record-breaking temperatures here in North Carolina. And Supertunias are not the absolute best flower annual for extreme heat. They prefer those cooler temperatures. They do great in the early spring, even through summer. Like that is, summer's not a problem, but for us in North Carolina, our heat and humidity at nighttime, it doesn't even cool down. So these guys just don't get a break. They're simply tired. So they are going to come out. So all of my mini vistas are coming out. We have them here on the around the lanterns, and then of course all around the kind of the perimeter of the garden. So that's, we're going to take those out. So that's number one. We're going to do that. Number two, we are going to come over here to the deck boxes. They are great. Everybody is doing really well, but you can see that I did not, when I pruned these a couple of 6 weeks ago maybe, I did not prune this side. Yeah, we need to take care of that. These annuals will transition beautifully into the fall, but especially the new sweet potato vine. This is the Shadow Storm. Oh my gosh, y'all. She is a big, beautiful beast, and she is taking over my Desdemona Rose. She is just going to town, and we have got plants just hanging over the side. So we're going to give them a haircut. I'm not going to scalp them, but I'm going to give them a haircut, but on both sides to rejuvenate that plant. So we're going to do that. My blue chiffon Rose of Sharon. This is a standard. I need to come in and maintain her. We did this early in the season. I'm going to come back in, clean up her bottom, and probably top her off a little bit, give her a little bit more shape so that she has a nice, more tighter habit. So we're going to do that. We are going to fertilize all of the roses. Some of them need to be deadheaded and pruned gently. We'll take care of that. So I'll show you how to do that. Going to give them a dose of fertilizer. And then I dare say this, but I want you to carefully listen to me. I am going to prune my Sasanqua camellias. Listen carefully, my friends. I am not cutting off the flower buds. So I'm going to show you, if you think you need to prune your camellias, your Sasanquas that are going to bloom here in just maybe 6 to 8 weeks, there's a way you can prune them and not sacrifice your flowers, but you have to be very, very careful. So stay tuned. Do not hear me where I say I am pruning my camellias and this is going to be perfect and wonderful and they're going to get a complete total haircut and I'm going to have flowers. That is not the case. There's a way to do it this time of year, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So first things first, I have got all of my supplies over here, y'all. I have got my pop-up bag. I've got my rake to clean up any kind of messes, my gloves, my tool belt with my Felcos in there. I just sharpened them so they are good to go. I have got my little handheld steel trimmers. I'm going to use that for the deck boxes. Of course, your water. Got to stay hydrated, people. my kneeling pad in case I need that, the rose tone for the roses, and then sun hat, because this is the first time we have seen sun in about a week, and so you got to stay protected. So we're going to be hydrated, protect our skin from the sun, and just have fun in the garden. So what I'm going to do is just pull up the Super Petunia Mini Vista Whites first. Super easy, y'all. Just pull them out of the ground, put them in whatever container. We don't officially compost, but we have piles, areas throughout our property where we put all the green debris that doesn't have any kind of disease or insect worries about that. And so we don't officially compost, but it does compost and return to the earth. If you have disease on your plants, like if you had roses and you had a disease on your roses, we don't want to compost that. We want to put that in the trash. The petunias are fine, so they're just going to go in the back of Johnny, and then I'll run them up to one of our compost piles and get rid of them. So first things first, get out the petunias. To say the space looks 100 times better already, I do not think is an exaggeration. Oh my gosh, literally all I did was pull out the petunias and look, like you can, it just looks so much better. Like my shrubs are like, oh, we can breathe, and just the neatness and the tidiness looks, like I said, 1,000 times, I said 100, I'm gonna say 1,000 times better. Just look at that, neat and tidy, there you go. And then of course underneath the lanterns, that looks fabulous as well. I think I got some that are leaning, so we'll need to fix that. But yes, everybody can breathe now, and there you go. So a couple of things. One, why did I not just trim them back and fertilize them? Well, one, I think some of them were too far gone to do that. Two, if you wanted to do that, absolutely. Go ahead and trim them, give them some good dose of the water-soluble fertilizer, and they, you know, the ones that are alive will bounce back, I would say in, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, they would be okay. I'm just gonna be flat out honest with you, y'all. When I get to August, mid-August, I'm tired. Like I'm already, we've had an amazing growing season. We start our growing season because of the nursery in late January, early February, and I'm tired of maintaining. And I know that my time here with these annuals is going to be short-lived. And I'm already thinking about, okay, what can I do now to help the fall be a little bit easier with my preparations? So I just take them out. That's my decision. If you want to do something different, great, go for it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you how to trim your camellias. Now, you may not need to trim your camellias. And again, cautious, y'all, you got to listen to me very carefully. All right, so this is a great example right here. So I have 3 camellias back here between my sprinter boxwoods. So I have 1, 2, and 3. This is the October Magic White Shishi, which is a fantastic sun-loving camellia. It is a nice petite Sasanqua. It blooms in the fall. These gorgeous double white flowers. It has already started to put on their buds because, like I said, they are a fall bloomer. So these little nodules right here, those are your buds. Do not cut this off. I repeat, do not cut these off. What I'm going to trim are my limbs that have gone a little rogue on me. So for example, I'm going to be very selective. For example, this is beautiful new growth. Now, do we see any buds on this? No, we do not. So I literally am going to come here and trim it like this. I'm just taking it off. again, a little bit here. Now I see some buds forming right there. So maybe I leave this one alone, or I only trim to this a little bit. I am simply going to trim these rogue ones that are going kind of crazy. Now here I have kind of the tall one. Can you see this one right here? So I've got a new growth, bright green. I'll probably trim that down a little bit, but behind it I have a dark green. And look at the tip of the dark green. Do you see those? Again, those are buds that I just knocked off. Those are buds. They're going to turn into beautiful flowers. Do not cut that. So we are going to be extremely selective with how we come in here and prune these babies, okay? So again, I've got another one down here. I've got some crazy rogue tall ones. I'm just going to gently prune them back. I also have a morning glory growing in here. I know some of you in the cooler zones, you love morning glories. Here in the south, they are the biggest pain nuisance. So it somehow, a little seed got way back underneath this camellia and she's just going nuts. So I'm gonna get in there and pull her out. So that's what we're gonna do. Very selectively are we going to prune our camellias. This would apply to all camellias because camellias bloom on old growth, meaning they have been working their little hearts out all season long to produce those flower buds. And if we cut them off now, whether they're sasanquas or japonicas, we're going to be cutting off our flowers. We do not want that. The only time that I would say to trim a camellia this time of year is if you absolutely have to, and you know that you're going to sacrifice your flowers for this season. All right, so that is my major disclaimer. Heads up, gentle, very selective pruning on your camellias in the late summer, fall, and winter. Otherwise, you're going to lose your flowers. So I'm going to get that, and we'll show you a little bit of a before and then an after. Camellias have been pruned. So let's look at this first one and that I was showing you, and let's look at the before and then the after. So all I did was gently go in there. If you just came and walked up upon this camellia right now, you would have no clue that I just pruned it. Got that morning glory out. She can breathe now. And again, same thing with the other two. You would never know that I pruned them. The white shishi is going to be a nice petite one as far as camellias go. So it works really, really well here. I just want to keep them really nice and tight and compact. That's why I prune them in the spring, and then those very selective pruning that I do now. The other plant that you probably do not want to prune this time of year are your gardenias. So here we have, this is Diamond Spire Gardenia. This is all your gardenias, they too bloom on old growth. And so if you want to prune them, you're going to do that immediately after they bloom. The quote problem that I have with Diamond Spire is she has a gorgeous heavy set of flowers in the spring. So that would be after that, that's when you want to prune it. But she still does those beautiful, very fragrant, sporadic blooms throughout the season. And so that's why sometimes I just have a hard time pruning them at all, because gardenias are my favorite flower and they're so fragrant. Next year, I do need to come in here though and kind of tidy her up a little bit. I have one on the other side as well. They've been here for quite a few years, and I've only pruned them once. They're more of that columnar habit to them than they are wide, and so they are absolutely fantastic. Love the foliage on this gardenia. Even if it didn't flower, I would still plant it in my garden because of that really nice glossy green. They remind me like a little thumbprints, right? So they're such a fun, and look how nice and thick that is. Very, very tight habit on it. You've got leaves all the way down the stem. So Diamond Spire, I love those fantastic fragrant gardenia blooms. It is wonderful. Now, what we're going to do now really quick is we're going to hit the Rose of Sharon. And so basically what I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do, and then I'm going to do it, and then I'm going to show you to you afterwards. All right, so the Blue Chiffon Rose of Sharon, it is a standard. We bought it as a standard. Early this spring, I cleaned it up, and so we've got some new growth popping out right here. So I'm going to clean up these limbs down here on the bottom so that we still keep that standard form. And then I'm going to just kind of gently give her a shape because she's got some nice tall stems on her. And I want to kind of tighten her back up because, yeah, she's getting a little floppy in some areas. And so we're just going to clean her up a little bit. And really, y'all, this is just aesthetically what looks good to you. You can do it. Rose of Sharon, they are so tough. So you really can't hurt it. Trust me, you cannot hurt these plants. So you can feel free to tidy it up however you want to, and it will be just fine. They do bloom on new growth. So mid-August, I easily could get another flush of flowers before my frost hits. So that's the beautiful thing about being in North Carolina. So I'm going to clean her up, show you the before, and then the after. Blue Chiffon has been pruned. So here is the before and the after. Yep, and to see after in real time, there you go. So you can see that I got it all nice and cleaned up underneath. So you can see the trunk, you can see the stems, and then I took off some of the sides and then a good bit of the top. Yes, we still have blooms. The pollinators are there. Again, I should be able to get some good growth on this before our first freeze, and so should get another flush of flowers on it. But either way, it's neat and tidy. This is the thing that I have learned with this Blue Chiffon is that if I don't prune it like this, mid-season, late summer, it can get so wild and unruly and just get so top heavy that it just looks out of place here. So a little bit of pruning this time of the year gives it plenty of time to reflush and put on some new blooms for the next season. We've got two more things on the list to do today. One is to prune the deck boxes, and you can see, I think that should be pretty self-explanatory why I needed to do that, because this sweet potato vine, yep, she's going nuts. And I think there's actually a Rose of Sharon branch right here because I see a blue flower. So I think it's kind of like grabbed it and pulled it down. So I have got my steel hand trimmers. Y'all, what I'm gonna do is come through and just clear cut on the bottom. So just give it a bowl cut if you want to, just straight across the bottom. It's gonna be a little interesting because I've got, you know, other plants in here like my rose, but if I can just go straight across and go straight around, it might be a little bit more challenging on this side just because it's a bit of a jungle over there. But again, you can see, like I've got, I don't know if y'all can see that, there's another morning glory that is actually rooted in the ground. But can you see those heart-shaped leaves up there? Yeah, that's the morning glory. So again, just coming through and trimming off the bottom, then I'll flip over to the other side and do that on the other side as well. And that'll really thicken up and rejuvenate these plants and just obviously make it look a lot neater and tidier. So then after we do that, then we're going to go ahead and move on to the roses. I'm going to prune those roses and shape them up. So because roses here for me will do a really nice fall flush of flowers. Sweet little Desdemona right here, she had put on another flush for me a couple of weeks ago, so I need to come in here and deadhead her, right? So your roses, we need a deadhead. This is where the flowers were, so we need to come down and just clean it up. It'll be a lot easier to do once the sweet potato vine is out of it. Tighten it up, and then all the roses are going to get a dose of rose tone. So rose tone, of course, is that slow release fertilizer that is great for roses. You're supposed to do it monthly. I have a hard time doing that. Let's just be honest. I can't get my act together to do it once a month. So, you know, do it when you can, people. There's grace in gardening. So we've got over here, this is scepter aisle. And so we're going to come in here, clean her up a little bit. We've got some beautiful new growth popping out, but really come in here and deadhead, fertilize. She'll flush out and give us gorgeous flowers. And then I always had the problem with Gertrude Jekyll. She gets floppy on me. So I'm gonna cut a good little bit off of her so she's not so floppy. Again, fertilize. She will be doing great. So that is what we're going to do. I will meet you back here when all of that is said and done. My friends, today's project is complete, and my gosh, it feels so good. Like, I, along with the shrubs, can have this nice collective sigh because we can breathe. Like, it doesn't feel so jungly and rainforesty and just overgrown around here. Just getting everything cleaned up, going ahead and getting rid of those Supertunia Mini Vista whites because they were done, and just everything just can breathe. That is the thing, because I was reading some comments from y'all on our front porch, like our front yard redesign, and that's what you were saying when we removed the boxwoods. It's like, oh my gosh, the garden can breathe now. The house can breathe, and that's what I feel like back here. Everything can breathe, and so it just feels fantastic. Of course, went ahead and got the roses pruned. Did not have to do very much with Elizabeth down here. Elizabeth is fairly new. I moved her up here this year from a pot, and so she has had good growth, not too crazy. So I just kind of deadheaded her, shaped her up a little bit. And then Gertrude Jekyll, she got the length taken off of her. She has got some naked knees and ankles, and so but everybody got a good dose of fertilizer, and then of course the Scepter to Isle got a nice prune as well. What I did not realize that was just suffering, and so this is note to self because we all are learning, because of the annuals up in the boxes, this sweet potato vine absolutely was smothering Desdemona. So all of these stems, these canes back here, completely defoliated. Not good for the rose, and the rose takes precedence over the annuals. So that was a mistake, oversight on my part. In my defense, we have been gone for the month of July. That is our busy month for traveling for the nursery. So we were literally gone for 3 weeks in a row, like out of state. And so also there is a hummingbird on the Vermillionaire, that other pot. So the pot farthest away from me, she is having the best time eating. And so you remember those were the containers that I refreshed, I don't know, a week, 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks ago, a week ago, and she is having the most fun feeding on that Vermillionaire, and there she goes. Oh, I love it, absolutely. Okay, so sorry, distracted by the hummingbird. It's very easy to do. So again, there's grace in gardening, y'all. Something happens, take care of it. So she got a really overall a big prune. Got the fertilizer on her. She has sun access all over her, so she should flush back out and be okay. So not a problem there. And then baby Desdemona, remember this was a bare root that I started this spring. She was not covered up, and she has flushed out quite nicely. So the Desdemonas, they'll bounce back. They will be just fine. And of course, you know, the Rose of Sharon, she looks all nice and neat and tidy. Getting all of those annuals cleaned up. I'm telling you what, that was a beast. Going down through there. Those Scentlandias right here, my gosh, I see I'm still finding sweet potato vine that didn't get put away. So got it all cleaned up. Yeah, beast up there. Let me show you what it looks like on top of the patio deck. You might notice my house plants. They have been brought outside to get a little enrichment time outside, and so they are enjoying these warmer temperatures and lots of water. So that's what they're doing out here. But here you go. I said I wasn't going to go crazy and whack them, but I kind of did, so that's all right. Got them really just cleaned up along the edge, and then came through all of the salvia. I went ahead and deadheaded. Let that flush back out. The pollinators, there's plenty of other plants in the garden. They will be just fine, and got them cleaned up, really kind of cut back, and everything will be fine. Obviously, we need to do some water-soluble fertilizer, so whenever you prune your annuals, you need to go ahead and do that water-soluble fertilizer to give them that new source of food, to get a jump start on growing and producing more of those flowers. But it feels fantastic to get this done. Again, I can breathe, the garden can breathe, one step closer to fall. And if you're like me, I'm tired of sweating, I'm ready for the fall. I enjoy the fall a lot. So if you have found this fun, informative, inspirational, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to Gardening with Creekside. That way you don't miss these 5 videos that we do for you each and every week. Y'all have an amazing day. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.